Alright, today I just want to share a little bit about the my experience with the DJI Osmo Action 4 and 5. So what I've done, I've come down to the local park here, and I've set both cameras to 25 frames a second. Pretty much everything's pretty much on auto, and I've switched them both to the HVC codec. Now the H.265 or HVEC codec is pretty much stock standard on the DJI 5, right? So you can't change it. I hate it for the simple reason that although it looks okay, it actually causes a fair bit of problems when you're editing. Now, different software excuse me, handles it differently. But one thing I've noticed after months of using them is on the motorcycle trips that I use them for mainly, I just want to turn around here and just give you some greenery shots here. Let me just, originally I find that the DJI 4 gives you a much more natural color, right? Gives you a much better natural looking, even the color, the actual colors are accurate. The pretty much what you see is what you get on the camera. Whereas when the 5 came out, I don't know what they've done with the software. They've really changed everything. They've done some work to have the HDR effect, give it a higher dynamic range, which it does, and in low light it is fantastic. But what I've found is that when you're filming trees and bushes, certain conditions you'll see on the edges, on the fringes, you'll see a white fringe. All right, so so what I'm doing, I'm just using both these cameras. I don't know if it'll happen. I'm trying to recreate the actual effect, like when I'm riding, but I don't know if it'll happen. So what I'll do is I don't know if it'll work. I don't know if it's going to work on this test, but anyway, I'll give it a good crack. Both cameras are fantastic, don't get me wrong. The 5 has got some great advantages, having internal memory, having the ability to shoot in low light in such a way is fantastic. But I find that it gives you an artificial looking image. It's under certain conditions, especially when it comes to the greeneries, when you notice it, like on the edges. Now, if I can't recreate it here, I'll have to use some sample footage. But anyway, both these cameras you won't be disappointed with. Both these cameras are fantastic for vlogging, for action camera work and whatever. But when you've got the 4, even the actual GoPro, I've got a 10, is fantastic on the image. The only problem with GoPro is their instability, or not instability, their battery life and some other small problems. But apart from that, even the GoPros give you an excellent image. Let me just turn this off, we'll continue further up. Alright, so side by side, the 4 and the 5, and you can, even on the screen, you can see that the actual 5 is brighter. It's much brighter. The high dynamic range is fantastic under certain circumstances, and it is different. Certainly, if you're going to do some low light rides, I do say that they are different in that respect. But just for everyday, driving around, the 4 is more than adequate. In fact, you'll get a much more natural image. But today I'm just, like I said, I'm running the H.264 codec, and I'm hoping to see what the differences are. So you can hear a bit of traffic and some kids in the background. I'm trying to stay away from all that. But yeah, the advantages of the 4, price, performance is adequate. It's more than capable of producing a good image. The advantages of the 5 are pretty much the internal memory and the longer battery life. But apart from that, and the high dynamic range that I see, everyone's got their opinion and other bits and pieces. But overall, if you were to buy a 4 Action 4 at a bargain price, you've done well. So you won't be disappointed with either camera. But I find that as I was speaking about the fringing, what I did do the other day, I went out and did a bit of bit of a drive and a bit of a test as well. I don't know if I still can find that footage, but what I did do is excuse me, I'll just adjust. Okay, so this is my experience only, right? So look at the image on the left and look at the image on the right. The right is a lot brighter, which is the actual 5. The image on the left is the 4. It looks much more natural, exactly what you'd expect, or exactly what you see. And here I've taken a bit of a snapshot just to give you an idea of the ghosting effect that I'm talking about on the trees. You can see the top of the trees have got this white ghosting phenomenon. Now, I don't know why that happens, but it's certainly because there seems to be some sort of digital processing going on, trying to obviously enhance the image, and unfortunately, this is probably a side effect. I don't know, but it's not good. It doesn't look good, and if you pay close attention, it's not good. You can play around with the settings and reduce this effect, like the the exposure and the noise reduction and all that sort of stuff. You can play around with it and get varying effects, but unlike any other videos you've seen on YouTube, I thought I'd just give you my experience so that when you're making a purchase, you can decide what's suitable for you. Now, all the specs are already available and already been spoken about, from multiple videos and full reviews, but this is just something that I think this comparison was something that's worth looking at from this perspective, I guess. Anyway, let me know what you think, what your thoughts are, and leave your comments. See you on the next one. Thanks for watching, guys.